Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Richmond. I'm director of the Arizona State University's Sustainable Cities Network and Project Cities program. I want to welcome you today to our virtual SCN Solar and Energy Efficiency Workgroup meeting. Our presenter today is Griffith Taylor, Fleet Electrification Specialist with the Electrification Coalition. She will be speaking with us today on the Climate Mayor's EV Purchasing Collaborative, helping public fleets electrify. So welcome, Cher. Really great to have you. And I'll just read your brief bio before we get started. So as I mentioned, Cher is an EV and distributed energy advocate based out of Washington, D.C. metro area. After earning her BA at Middlebury College in Vermont, she has over 7 years of experience organizing and providing support to energy projects, as well as researching, developing, and defending energy policies. You'll provide today an overview of the resources and services available to public fleets through the Climate Mayor's EV Purchasing Collaborative, a nonprofit program led by the Electrification Coalition. So with that, Cher, I'm going to just hand it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Anne, and good afternoon to everyone assembled. Special thanks to Karen Apple as well. She connected me to Anne, and that's why I have the opportunity to address you all today. So as Anne said, my name is Cher Taylor. I'm here to tell you about one of the programs I work on. It's called the Climate Mayor's EV Purchasing Collaborative, the Collaborative for short. And as you have heard or can probably guess, the collaborative helps cities and counties successfully add electric vehicles to their fleets by assisting with procurement and providing other guidance and support. But before we get into the collaborative specifically, I thought it would be helpful to tell you more about the Electrification Coalition, or the EC. That's the nonprofit, the national nonprofit organization where I work. The EC is completely dedicated to promoting policies and actions that facilitate the deployment of electric vehicles on a mass scale. I'm based out of the Washington, D.C. headquarters, but as you can see from this map, the EC has staff distributed all across the country to support our various programs, of which the collaborative is one. And so for the last 10 years, the Electrification Coalition has been working within municipalities and with local partners to advance EV adoption on fleets, most notably in Columbus, Ohio, where our staff led the city fleet electrification and EV adoption as part of the Smart Columbus program. In Atlanta, Georgia, our staff helped the city, our staff developed the EV roadmap for the city, as well as helping to inform the development of and pass the city's first EV readiness ordinance, and that was subsequently adopted. We've also been working in the city of Rochester, New York on an EV accelerator community there. And the EC has been recently selected by the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, NYSERDA, to scale that program nationwide. Another program I work on for the EC is called the Bloomberg American Cities Climate Challenge. That is specific to certain American climate challenge cities across the country, and our assistance there is specifically on city fleet electrification. And of course, I'm on the projects team, but there's a whole other EC policy team, and the policy team has recently launched its state EV policy accelerator program in 5 strategic states that you can see there. And really, I just wanted to show you this to demonstrate that we have a lot of diverse experience in the realm of vehicle and fleet electrification. And so our staff, including, of course, myself, bring many capabilities to the table, which can add real value to a fleet's electrification considerations. So please engage with us and talk to us. Tell us about what you're doing in the way of fleet electrification. So now on to the Climate Mayor's EV Purchasing Collaborative. It is a nonprofit program we launched in 2018. Our goal is to accelerate the electrification of public fleets across the country by reducing the associated costs and barriers. So the collaborative is led by the EC, along with our 2 main program partners, the Climate Mayors and Sourcewell. Climate Mayors is a network of over 400 mayors that have committed to taking meaningful action to reduce emissions in their jurisdictions. They conference regularly to share information and resources on sustainability. And our other program partner, Sourcewell, it's a widely used collaborative purchasing agency whose procurement offerings meet or exceed municipal standards for competitiveness and transparency. And so that basically means that cities and counties can use Sourcewell's contracts for equipment and services instead of going out to bid for using an RFP. And that is the main value of our partnership with Sourcewell, is that, using their pre-established contracts, it drastically reduces staff time and effort during the procurement phase. And through collaborative purchasing, Sourcewell is able to leverage the buying power of its over 50,000 members across North America to secure favorable prices, which can result in impressive savings, especially for smaller fleets or smaller municipalities. So definitely check out our website. It's www.driveevfleets.org. You can find more information there about our program, and you can take a look at our procurement portal where we have a number of vehicles available for procurement. And of course, membership to the Climate Mayors program or to Sourcewell, absolutely free. More contact info is available on our website, but of course, you can always reach out to me as well. Happy to hear from you. And so while the collaborative launched with a focus on the Climate Mayors, really our membership is open to any municipality or public fleet, including nonprofits and public universities. I'm talking with Anne about Arizona State University's plans for fleet electrification and if we can welcome them into our collaborative. We've partnered with Sourcewell to offer their procurement solutions as an option, as I mentioned, but there is no obligation to procure through Sourcewell in order to become a member of the collaborative. But as I mentioned before, their prices are usually very competitive with state contracts and may provide wider vehicle offerings. And there are also some unique discounts and options, like ownership options, available for charging stations if you use Sourcewell. And Sourcewell contracts offer not just equipment, but also financial services, such as a flexible vehicle leasing mechanism that cities can use to take advantage of the federal tax credit to support EV uptake, which of course reduces the upfront costs of those electric vehicles. And that's generating a lot of interest right now, given the budget impacts of the pandemic. And I'll have another slide where I can speak more to our leasing options later. As the main leader of the collaborative, the EC's role has been to conduct outreach, education, and engagement among its fleets, provide staff support such as policy guidance, technical resources and analysis, peer-to-peer learning opportunities. That's one of the biggest things we do, and of course, sharing out best practices. And most importantly, we track and communicate the metrics that the collaborative is generating to our stakeholders and supporters. So we communicate regularly with them, and our stakeholders include OEMs and auto manufacturers. And the collaborative kind of drives the EV transition by demonstrating strong EV adoption on public fleets, so that manufacturers see a strong business case for continuing the development of electric vehicles. And we're hoping that this will result in either specific fleet models of certain very popular vehicles and or just lower prices overall. All right, this slide is on staffing and support resources. So aside from doing outreach, this is what I spend most of my time doing for the collaborative, is providing staff support. For us to provide the best service, of course, we really need cities to be engaged with us and share information about what they're doing or what they're planning for the next year. And we can help by doing things like analyzing your vehicle inventory, helping you identify vehicles suitable for electrification. As I mentioned, we do a lot of peer-to-peer connections and learning opportunities from among our nationwide network of municipal professionals. We share our best practices and case studies from across the country on successful fleet electrification. And of course, we provide that procurement support through Sourcewell. And we're always adding new models to our procurement portal. And we have expanded into heavier duty vehicle types this year as well. And I can say more about that in the upcoming slides. So the collaborative, as I said, it started in 2018. At that time, we only had 25 committed municipalities. Now, just 2 years later, not even 2 years later, we are at over 200 participating cities, counties, ports, universities, school districts, and transit agencies. They've all committed a total of over 3,217 electric vehicles, and they've already procured over 1,500 of those to date. We started outreach to universities last month. And so far we have University of Texas from San Antonio, University of Miami, University of Central Florida, University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, and others have all committed to our collaborative. So, we started with public fleets, not only the climate mayors, but really any municipality, and also higher education institutions as well. And so the collaborative's ability to track EV deployments from purchase order through to vehicle delivery is key to our entire program. A fleet's commitment to add even just one electric vehicle to its fleet is really the only requirement to join the collaborative and access all of our other resources and support. And again, these commitments are voluntary. Once you make a commitment, we add your city name to our website. So not the commitment number, just the name of your city, and ask that you maintain engagement with us so that we can track the purchase order through to successful delivery and deployment, and we can provide any necessary support along the way. We want commitments to be ambitious, but of course we want them to be feasible. And we do a lot of social media campaigns as well, and other announcement events and webinars. And we write case studies as well to highlight the work of fleets that are leading on fleet electrification, fleets that have committed and are joined to the collaborative. So there are many ways that cities can benefit from engaging with our program. Good press. Good press is always good. And on this slide, it's just a few screenshots from our website and our procurement portal, which I encourage you to visit, www.driveevfleets.org. We update this site every few weeks with the latest information that we get from our manufacturer partners. And so you can very quickly and easily compare vehicle specifications and prices, compare our offerings on charging stations from a number of different vendors, and get more information on the specific Sourcewell contracts being used. If you do see something you like, you can place a purchase order directly via email, and the procurement guidance is on the website. This is another screenshot from our website showing the vehicle models that we currently have available. The Chevrolet Bolt there, that order cutoff date was yesterday. Sorry about that. The pandemic has certainly caused some issues in automotive production, but we have several really popular models available or coming online later this year. And so as you can see, we offer both battery electric vehicles, so all electric, but also plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. As long as it has a plug, we can usually count it under our program metrics. And across the top of the screen, you can see the different EV charging station vendors that we are providing their equipment through contract with Sourcewell. The collaborative has some unique discounts there, as I mentioned, and charging stations are increasingly becoming central to the support that we offer. We can provide a lot of best practices on planning, siting, pricing, rate, and program design due to our past project experience and our vendor connection. And other vehicle offerings. So starting earlier this year, we've also brought on board several electric options in the medium duty and heavy duty space. And right now we have all electric street sweepers on our platform from 2 different manufacturers, Madvac and Global. They're on the bottom half of the slide. And we also have electric school bus offerings from Bluebird, manufacturer Bluebird. That's at the top of the slide. Our procurement partner, Sourcewell, very recently completed another bid round for electric school buses and other vehicles in classes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm expecting that in the next maybe 2 months, definitely before the end of the year, we will have more electric options in the medium duty and heavy duty space. So that's coming very soon. We've gotten so much interest in that sector from the municipalities that we speak with. And we don't have any transit buses yet, but definitely that's something we're working on. So stay tuned for more information on that. And of course, with these other vehicle offerings, electric vehicles do command a price premium already. And these heavier, more complex vehicles, usually you're going to need financing to help offset the cost there. For the school buses, the pricing you'll most likely going to need funding assistance. But pricing will be on a case-by-case basis, depending on what state you're calling from and what school district. So again, we encourage municipalities, we encourage fleets to engage with us and tell us about what you're looking for specifically, and we'll figure out a way to help you. For the street sweepers, the pricing is also to be determined because these vehicles are very complex, they're order built. However, Global is planning to do a viewing and a limited demo in Phoenix, Arizona next month in September, I think in mid to late September. So if you're interested for more information there, you can definitely reach out to me, but you can directly inquire with Karen Apple in Phoenix as well. And the collaborative's financing partner, it's called NCL Government Capital. They provide flexible, tailored financing solutions to fleets participating in the collaborative, again, under contract with Sourcewell. And in fact, most of NCL's business is financing these heavier vehicles. So they are, again, very experienced and can work with your fleet to develop a unique financing solution that provides maximum value. Here is an example of the savings that fleets can access by financing their EV purchases through NCL Government Capital. Essentially, you'll be pursuing a municipal EV lease, which allows public fleets to take advantage of the federal tax credit when they procure EVs. And of course, that can mean up to $7,500 off the vehicle purchase price. And when you also factor in the 50 to 56% savings just by switching fuels from gasoline to electricity, leasing vehicles makes it even easier, makes it even more economical to drive electric. And so in a nutshell, here's how our financing works. When your fleet identifies the desired vehicle model, the lessor, that is not NCL Government Capital, they would purchase that vehicle and obtain the title. And since NCL is a private company, they can directly receive the federal tax credit when they file their taxes. So while NCL waits for that credit to come through, they'll turn around and lease that vehicle, that electric vehicle, to your fleet at a lower total cost, which is the original price minus the available tax credit, as shown in this example. And so we really encourage interested fleets to reach out to us and discuss their circumstances and goals, because NCL can structure these leases in many flexible ways that add unique value depending on what your fleet is looking for. So cities may pursue a straight lease, whereby you would make monthly payments and return the vehicle at the end of the lease term. This is essentially a long-term vehicle rental where the city does not build equity in the asset. Or cities can pursue a lease-to-own model where they make periodic lease payments and then buy out the vehicle at the end of the term for the pre-negotiated residual price. And that is one of the major benefits for fleets is that in all cases, cities know upfront exactly how much the monthly payments and the residual value of the vehicle will be. And these values never change over the term of your agreement. And especially as cities face budget uncertainty right now, another major benefit of leasing is that these payments typically come out of the city's operating budget and not the capital budget. And as I mentioned, NCL, they do have to file their taxes in order to get I guess, reimbursement from the federal government for the amount of the allowed federal tax credit. But it does take NCL at least 18 months to receive that. So the shortest lease term that they can offer is 24 months. And this is also usually the most cost-effective lease term. But of course, as you can see in this example, you can also, spread out the value over time. 36 months, 68 months. Again, they're very flexible when working with fleets. And again, very flexible lease payments, typically billed monthly, but NCL can also structure them as an annual payment, which can be slightly more economical. And NCL's lease agreements, they include that all-important non-appropriation clause that provides room for cities to default on payments and not be held responsible in very specific circumstances. And right now, NCL is offering a 12-month payment deferral after the city takes possession of the vehicle. And again, this is just to help fleets out at this time when there's a lot of budget uncertainty. They want to make sure that fleets can keep up with their vehicle replacements, even though budgets may not be finalized. And a quick plug for the other lease offerings available through the collaborative. They're at they're bulleted near the bottom left of the screen. It's D&M leasing, and then also from Enterprise Fleet Management. And if you go to our website, our portal, you will see those categorized under fleet management, since those companies offer additional services as well. Quick plug for D&M, they've set up a companion website. It's www.dmdriveevfleets.org, and they can monetize 67% of the federal tax credit for cities. And they've been very helpful to help fleets source certain models that may not be very widely available. And then, still not convinced, check out our case studies that we've produced to document some of the fleet work that the collaborative has been up to. They're on our website, so driveevfleets.org/media. Usually we profile cities that have used our procurement mechanism in order to highlight how easy and effective it is to use Sourcewell, including cities that have used our program to lease EVs. So if you're looking for specific case studies on that topic, do check out our case studies on the city of Chula Vista and Winter Park in Florida. Those case studies provide more information on how those cities set up specific leases to meet their needs. However, our latest case study on the website is on the city of Ann Arbor. I wrote that one personally. And it highlights all the additional value that cities can access through the collaborative. So namely, it's that staff support, it's the analyses, it's the best practices, and the collaborative opportunities to create strong EV policies that will support future electrification of your fleet and your city. And so after this presentation, what is the call to action? What is it that I'm asking you to do? I'm asking you I want to hear from you. I'm asking you to reach out to me. I want to hear about how the collaborative can advance electrification on your Arizona fleet. So basically just reach out to me about making a meaningful commitment to fleet electrification. Check out our website for vehicle and charging stations, and just keep talking with me, keep engaging with us, and so that we can guide you and provide you with the resources that you need and the support that you need. And basically that's the end of my presentation. My contact information is here. That is my desk phone, but I mean, you can probably tell I'm not in the office right now. Still TBD on when that's going to be, but definitely call, leave me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I get your message, and I'm always available over email. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Anne.